I am Jennyffer Kurz. I am the VP of the Freedom Organization. I am usually in the background, in the back, not doing much, but when David can't show up, I show up. And basically, I've been in the real estate industry for about 10 years now. I've been a realtor. I've been a team leader. I owned a brokerage with David. And I also have a mortgage license as well. I'm actually a mortgage loan originator for the past 3.5 years. So I don't promote that often because, it does take a lot of my time, and I really want to focus on this freedom organization with David. But I do have a team in case you guys need assistance. Today we are going to talk about how to create a successful event. But before we do that, today is Thursday and it's 11. And what do we always do Thursday at 11? Freedom Day. Yes, Guy, thank you. It's a Freedom Day. Please put it on the chat. It's a Freedom Day. Own it. Live it. This is why you guys come here every Thursday, to know what else you can do to enhance your business, to make it another Freedom Day on the next day, and another Freedom Day on the next day, and make it a freedom life. It's a Freedom Day today, guys. And I thank you all for joining me. I know I am not David, but I will be as dynamic as I can, and I'll provide you with as much information as necessary today to really hone in on how to create a successful event. In addition to that, I do want to add, we do have the Freedom Achiever Academy. You can go on the freedomachieveracademy.com. That is our academy, or our learning academy, where most agents go in and gather knowledge through different courses that we have on how to create teams, how to run a brokerage, how to be a new agent, how to market your business, how to work with social media, etc. So definitely take a look at that if you haven't already. Now, if you want a one-on-one overview and evaluation of your business, I strongly suggest that you schedule yourself with David for 30 minutes and see if that's something that's going to work for you. Now, let's talk about events. First, I want to ask, how many of you guys, and if you can put on the chat or raise your hand, because I can see a lot of you here, are you guys already hosting events? Are you hosting events to enhance your business already? Who's hosting events? Just put it on the chat. I am. You can put it. You can raise your hand. All right. I don't see a lot of interaction on the hosting events. This is important. Okay, we got Brian. Not often, but planning one for the next month. Guy says he has. Open houses are definitely events, or at a little bit of a smaller scale, but those are definitely events. The reason why we wanted to bring events to you is because, as you already know, we do events often. Our events tend to be at a larger scale, so we're not we're not going to bombard you with information on how to get to that larger scale. But learning the basics, the small scale type of events, in order for you guys to generate business, will give you at least a teaser, a taste as to what you can do in the event that you in the future wanted to do something bigger as well. So it's almost the same model. Essentially, with events, we really have to think about, what are we trying to gain from these events? So I have a couple notes here. What is our purpose? What is our goal? Determine the objective of the event. Okay, so if we're going out there and determining that we want to do an event, what kind of events can realtors do? What kind of events can realtors do to enhance their business? Or what should you do? Because a lot of you guys are not doing it. So, what kind of events other than open houses? I want to see something a little bit more creative. Fundraising event. That's a good one. That's a good one. Penny says, I had a great one with my stager and bowl and branch on creating luxurious bedrooms. Next one would be decorating for the holidays. Okay, so Penny does events that are specific to homeowners. Okay, client appreciation parties. All right, first time home buyers, holiday events. Okay, so let's talk about that. So you define your purpose. We identified a couple of events right now. And when you look at these events, then you have to think about, okay, is this event a networking type of event? Is it a seminar? Is it a, we had somebody mention a charity. Okay, so once you identify that, then you have to think about your target audience, because you can't just do an event and then just put it out there and not understand your target audience. So, let's go with something very simple. The first time buyer event. As it says, it's who's your target audience is the first time buyer. All right. Now, when we look at the first time buyer, what does the first time buyer need? So if you guys can elaborate, if you want to do a first time buyer event, what do they need? What are you supposed to be doing? What is your goal with this event for a first time buyer? Oh, we have a credit repair, also type of event.
Educate
Or
them.
maybe guy, okay. I have Guy here saying credit repair and loan officers. Yep. They need to get educated, Julio. Thank you. Mia, is that what you were going to say? Sorry.
Yes.
Okay, so educate them. Why? First time buyers have no idea what to do. And newsflash, even buyers that have properties, that have had properties in the past, have no idea what to do. Okay, so obviously, you have to think about your verbiage too. If you go for first time buyers, guess what you're going to get? First time buyers. Yep. So if you think more on, okay, how to buy in this market, maybe it's a specific market that you target, okay, or the processes of buying, buying your property. Those are things that you guys have to think about, that consumers need, that they need to know. Like they don't think like we do. They don't know what is happening, what goes through the process. All they think about is, I'm scared, I don't know what I'm doing, and I need to know what my next steps are. And everybody that comes to me, I don't trust them, because they're coming to me because they want to sell me. And that's something that you got to think about. In your approach, it has to be always with content and help, right? After you identify your target audience, you set a budget. Budget is very important, because one thing I will tell you is, in creating events, the budget can really go off the walls between location and food and just like parking sometimes. Even the sponsors, the people who or the not sponsors, but the people who you're bringing to speak, some people require you to pay them to show up, so really determining, and then the capacity, how many people are going to attend this event, and can I afford a venue that can host that many people? Okay, so now we have our goal. Our goal is to educate. We have our target audience. We're educating first-time buyers or veterans or investors or people who are trying to do multifamilies, Airbnbs, Airbnb rentals. Those are also a form of investors. Okay. I like the fundraiser one. Is for people who want to purchase a home and don't have enough funds, and maybe you do a fundraiser to gather enough funds for somebody that's going to that doesn't have the means to do it, and then you're able to make that happen for them. And how do you make this event attractive to the agents, and really is through education sometimes. So for example, I'm sorry, because I kind of went all over the place. So in an event where you're working with charity, you want to be able to bring people that are going to offer information. And with charity, I think in the real estate market, you're probably better off targeting realtors to be able to come to your event and pay to help somebody that's in need to purchase a property. And then they'll get educated on how to grow their business. They'll have probably a minimal cost or something at the beginning for the event, but those funds could potentially go to helping somebody in need that you probably have in the crowd, that you can have them speak as well. So that's, a different type of charity. I host a different charity event. It's a comedy event. and that's just to help a family and a local charity as well. And basically, I bring a lot of realtors together to have a good time and help somebody, but it gives me an opportunity as a lender to communicate with these people as well, or for you as realtors to network with other realtors. Okay. So anyway, so setting a budget is important. Establish a budget that covers all aspects of the event, including the venue, marketing, catering, speakers, and any other expenses. Ensure the budget is realistic. Okay. Then you have to choose a suitable venue. So I will say that for small events and events where people are not really paying to go to the event, try to go with a venue that will host you. You know, like Total Wine will give you the space for free. So if you want to do a first time buyer event, you can do it at Total Wine for free. You know, you also have developers. Developers will offer their spaces for free as well for certain events. Okay, granted, you want to make it appealing. So, you know, maybe if it's a luxury building, you know, you might have to target a couple luxury clients in order to bring those in and so that they can get a tour of the venue, of the place. What else? You can also, a lot of rental communities have a community space, a common area space that they can bring a number of people together. You just have to find out how many people they can host, and that's another place that you can do it. As a matter of fact, rental communities are great for first time buyers. If you're able to get in contact with the manager of a rental community and say that you want to host something for their people, and you'll offer them lunch or whatever the case may be. Maybe it's a holiday event and you ask them for an opportunity to speak, you know, but definitely look into those. Those are free ways for you to be able to host events. Now, obviously there are the larger locations. A free larger location, or not free, but a cost effective larger location would be at a university. So if you guys are looking to do a larger event, universities have great theater style rooms, and they don't charge a lot for hundreds of people. And they do events all the time. So, and sometimes they even use their students in order to assist with whatever it is that you need. So think about that. All right, so develop a marketing strategy. Create a comprehensive marketing plan to promote your event. Utilize various channels such as social media, email marketing, online listings, local publications, industry associations. Highlight key features, get speakers and attractions to generate interest and drive attendance. So the events that we host tend to have speakers, and we try to gather speakers that are known within the industry and that have something to say that could be useful or valuable to the agents. And so our audience is usually the real estate agent, right? For you guys, a first time buyer, you know, it's gonna first time for a first time buyer event, it's gonna be a little simpler. What you need is a lender, a credit repair person, you need a title agent, okay, and you need yourself. And with the lender and the title agent and the credit repair person, they can also assist as sponsors and help you cover the costs of the event. And then there you have pretty much your whole team, an army to help these people in that space. You know, so when you do these type of events specific to first time buyers, this is what you need. If you're doing an investor event, you want people who have invested in flips. You want people who have invested in rentals, who've done Airbnb. You want a mortgage loan officers that do standard investment loans and also hard money loans. Okay. Obviously, you might want an attorney there or a title company there as well. There might be questions specific to that and what you can or cannot do in certain areas, and with your contract and so forth. So, you know, again, ideas of how to get other people involved without having to pay for their service, but still are people of value. And they will also contribute to the event as well. Okay. Create a captivating program. Oh, wait, let's go back to marketing. When you gather these people, you know, have them promote the event as well. You can't do this by yourself. So really have them promote the event, put them on flyers, promote their company, ensure you have the right social media that's putting it out there. And I would totally advise on putting some money on ads that are specific to your audience. Okay. But definitely don't try to do this by yourself. Try to get other people to help you with this because everybody has a network. You know, if you notice you on your social media, you have a certain number of followers, somebody else has a different number of followers, and you may have 2 or 5 or 50 mutual, but not all of them. So you definitely want them to do that. Create video. Video, I know David harps a lot on video. Video is engaging. So, you know, telling people about your event, why the event is important, what is your goal, who you're going to have there, etc., is going to be very important in you marketing your business. So, you know, it's social media, it's the videos, it's the email campaigns, all of this ties together. And the email campaigns have to be consistent. And, you know, and before all of this, really plan ahead. I will say that one of our biggest situations most of the time is that David wants to do an event. He wakes up in the morning, he says he wants to do an event next month. So we're scrambling to get this squared away and done for within 30 days, you know, and we manage, we make it happen. Michael knows, Michael is definitely gets dragged with us, you know. So um planning ahead for, you know, give yourself at least 1 to 2 weeks so that you can gather the venue and make sure that the budget is right. Give yourself, you know, throughout that entire time frame from the moment that you decided to the moment that the event comes, you know, work on sponsors the entire time frame if needed. You know, depending on how many sponsors you need, you have to cover your budget, you know. In addition to that, once you have the venue, then you can start marketing the event time and date already. So within a week or 2 of you planning the finding the location, then you can start promoting the event. Then after that, you start working on speakers. As the speakers come in, you start putting them in your social media as well. It gives you content after content every single week. And then the last 2 weeks are crucial. So I'd say at least give yourself 2 months. One, you know, 1 month is pushing. Give yourself at least 2 to 3 months. 2 months is okay. 3 months you have better planning, but 2 months it stays in people's mind, you know, and it's available and you can continue to promote it, especially these type of events. So yeah, so if you give yourself 2 months and then the last 2 weeks before the event comes, those are the crucial weeks. Those are the weeks that you bombard people with emails. They have to see it. They have to remember. People make plans last minute. You know, they see the event early and they don't make a decision at that moment. So they have to see it over and over again at closer to the event. We use Eventbrite. It's very simple. So, you know, I am sure you guys know, I'm sure you guys know what Eventbrite is. You probably see it in Facebook also and joined other things through that. It's very easy to use. So we already went over discussing the speakers and then plan for networking opportunities. So when you have these events, maybe plan for a moment, like maybe 30 minutes after, an hour after, to network with the people. Don't just do an event that's going to end right away and you're going to walk away. You know, you want to have the opportunity to talk to these people. If you have credit repair person there and the person says they need help with credit, have that person talk to them. You know, if they need financing, have them talk to the lender, etc. And keep everybody kind of in, you know, in one space. Don't, you know, if I will say with that, when we have events that are that have a networking event in a different location, we lose more than half the people. So if you have a small networking time in the same space for 30 minutes to an hour, you know, that alone will give you the opportunity to at least engage with the people. Not, you know, they've already seen you as the person with the knowledge, right? The professional, because you provided information, you created this event, right? So now it's the time for you to engage when you organize that networking opportunity. Pay attention to logistics, such as event registration. So I already told you about Eventbrite, ticketing and signage. At the event, you need to have signage. You need to have something that promotes what it is that you're doing, your business, who you are, whether it is a roll up or a banner or flyers. Make sure you plan those ahead. It takes a while sometimes for them to come in. So I would say, you would have to have ordered these already at least a week in advance. You have to check with your printing person, but definitely, have that prepared. I suggest that you prepare things that are general, that you can use in multiple spaces if you don't have the funds to create a new one every single time you have an event. But you could create a general one that has your information, what you're providing, and if you want to do one for the event, then you put all the sponsors there. Sponsors like to see their logos, their info, and everything displayed. That's all part of the budget, by the way. That the marketing expenses are part of the budget that you have to consider. And then audio visual equipment is a big deal. Microphone, do you need a screen for presentations? Is it a projector? Where is the projector situated? Are you bringing your own projector? Because you got to figure, you can't stand in front of the projector as you do these presentations yourself. Does the place need speakers? Those kind of things are very important because people want to hear you. Where are the speakers going to be sitting, if they're sitting or if they're standing? And then catering, if you're going to provide catering, a lot for these events, a lot of times you get the sponsors to pay for catering. If not, you make it as part of your budget. You gather as many sponsors as possible, but now you have to plan the catering. You have to figure out how many people are coming. Also understand that if it's a free event or a very low cost event, you're going to have, not everybody's going to show up. Especially if it's a free event, you're more than likely going to have about 40% of the people show up. It has to be a really enticing event. So I would say if you're planning for 50 people, then you need to make sure you have 100 registrants for a free event. And if it's standing room only, even better. Okay. What else? Ensure a smooth flow of activities and provide a comfortable environment for participants. So flow would be like as speakers come up, where the cameras are situated when they're recording. How do people walk into the space? How do they see the sponsors first? Okay, so they register, then they have to see, you have to make sure that they go and pass through the sponsors and at least get their information before they go and sit down. Is it easy for them to sit down? Is it, if they decide to get up, are they going to have to walk in front of the speaker, or do you have space for them to walk behind? You know what I mean? So these are simple logistics that make a big difference when you're setting up these events. And then after the event, so we've already spoken about, figuring out your audience, the sponsors, the marketing, the location. It's important that you guys follow up. So when people register, you want people to register. So that's why Eventbrite is important. So when they register, they have to give their name, their email, their phone number, and everything. So now you have a database of people that you need to follow up with and continue to stay in communication, because you're not going to sign up right there and then. Also with the sponsors, you need to figure out if the sponsors really like what happened, the feedback that they have. So stay in communication with those sponsors, because it's highly possible that when you do another event, if they really like that one, that you can rely on them to be part of that as well. When it comes to presentations, I want to go back a little bit on the part of, yes, we will have speakers that will present, but when you do your own presentation, if you're having a hard time putting that together, ChatGPT is really good to be able to come up with the content. And then there's two, and bear with me a second because I'm going to search for them. There are two AIs companies that you can use to create a presentation for you. There's presentations.ai and there's beautiful.ai. So those are two different ones. I'm sure there's other ones out there. And those are to help you for those people that have a hard time with creativeness or just putting stuff together, so you'll basically prompt ChatGPT to create a presentation for you for whatever the topic is, whether it is to work with veteran buyers or investors and so forth. And then you put that information into the presentation AI, and then they will help you, and that'll generate a whole presentation for you. So maintaining relationships is obviously a big deal. When you talk to these people, these buyers, you need to find out whether or not they've spoken to your sponsors, if they've started the process, etc. And then just, stay engaged with them, send them emails. I will say that one of the biggest issues that we realtors have, whether it is as simple as an open house when people register, is that we don't follow up. We don't call these people, we don't send them emails, we don't put it in our database. If you don't already have an email company, a company where you can send mass emails, then you have to do that like yesterday, because it's the easiest way to communicate with people. Does it cost money? Yes, it's not a lot, so you can handle it. You got to invest in your business, but definitely go to MailChimp or Constant Contact, and any information that you are trying to put out there to the masses, that's where you can send it. And the more you do it, the more they see. Even if they don't open your email, the more they see your email come in, the more they recognize you. I believe it takes about eight times to see your name in order for somebody to recognize your name. So you want to be able to send these emails consistently, follow up on how it is that you can help and provide the right amount of contact. And that's pretty much it. You got to remember that these events require careful planning, and you have to stay organized, and you have to have the right team. You can't do this by yourself. Like I said, if your sponsors can help, at least to provide information, your speakers to also promote your events, and find people that can sit down and take care of registration while you are running around trying to figure everything out, if the speakers work and everything, if the chairs are set up, if the sponsors came in on time, where the sponsors are going to be situated, etc. So it takes a lot of planning to create events. Smaller events, not as much, but still, the bulk of this is going to be useful even for a small event. Now, that is the end of my presentation when it comes to events. Do you guys have any questions? Any questions? Or if you were thinking about doing an event and this presentation encouraged you today, what kind of event are you thinking about doing?
So I do have a question, Jennifer.
Yes.
So my biggest thing when it came to events is I saw, the events financial advisors do. I'd been to a couple. What's overkill? Because for me, when I think of an event, I want to invite people that either know me through somebody, people that I have rapport with, people that, I can be like, look, this is what we're doing. And I'd appreciate your business. So I've seen people, go to fancy restaurants and, get a side room that can seat 12 to 15 people, uh, show a presentation, feed them lunch, drinks, whatnot, but then follow up afterward. Is that overkill, or is there like a number you might have, where you're like, okay, this is the money I'm spending. How much money is this possibly going to make me? What, what do you consider when you're going into an event?
Definitely consider your audience, right? So I wouldn't go off spending a whole bunch of money on somebody that you can't really gain a lot of business from. And I don't know what what is it that you're trying to gain from the event? Like what kind of business?
Obviously, it's more clients, more people who want to buy, sell, and invest, or if they know somebody who wants to buy, sell, and invest, I want to be the one they call.
Okay, so with those, I wouldn't go crazy on a one-on-one, or like small meetings like that, like dinners. I wouldn't go crazy with that. That's more of like a presentation where you're providing content, and definitely stick to a certain budget, because I will tell you that, they're not gonna make any moves right away immediately after that presentation. It's gonna take a lot of follow-up.
Of course.
Obviously that day is going to be where you become the professional and you let them know everything that they're gonna do, and then it's like, preparing that after networking kind of scenario where you figure out, okay, how did you like the event? Is there anything you took away from that? What are your goals? What are you trying to do? And kind of, keep that as feedback, maybe even send them an email as well after the event, even after the networking part, when you request feedback, you can create a Google form, that's easy, or, so that more or less what they got from your event. But spending a lot of money on stuff like that, no, unless you have like a specific set of really interested buyers and you're doing a presentation that falls within their parameters, then I don't see why you would have to spend that much money on a situation like that.
So let me then turn the question then. Let me adapt my question to your answer. For people that I've done business with, whether they bought or sold a home, what would you recommend to do? I mean, I've seen people do bowling alleys. That's not my kind of thing.
Yeah, I
what-
mean, what I've seen could be very helpful is, all of these people have businesses, and their businesses can be promoted as well, right? All together. And you can say, hey, this is a client appreciation event, an opportunity for you guys to network with other people that I've worked with. I'm really grateful for you guys trusting me. Sorry, I was getting a phone call. Trusting me within your transaction. These are other people that were really happy throughout the process. I really think it'd be great and you guys would click, something to that level. But it's more of like, these are specific people that you've worked with before. And I think a call or an invitation would go a long way to bring them to your event. Like an actual like written invitation, and at the event, just a simple networking, couple drinks, complimentary, and then just like, have somebody else pay for the drinks so you're not responsible for that, have another sponsor do it. And just hors d'oeuvres and stuff like that, but definitely stick to a budget and gather sponsors to help you with that, because you can't, you can't do this on your own.
Of course.
You
Yeah.
can't,
I mean,
you shouldn't. There's other
I
people
don't.
that,
Go ahead. Sorry.
sorry, go ahead. It's fine.
No, I don't think I would do it without a sponsor or,
Yeah.
obviously a mortgage lender who would, it would benefit them as well. So, okay, that helps a lot. I think that for me has always been why I've not done events. Is because I've always thought, let me go overkill, but what am I going to do if people don't show up? So,
Yeah.
um, and
Yeah.
that's, in this world, people will RSVP, they'll say, yeah, we're going to be there, and then they don't end up showing up. But also, for me, the reason why I want to, I get, getting the new people, putting a flyer out there, getting them, mass event. But for me, it's also, yeah, no matter how good you work, no matter, how much people say they love you, whether or not you keep in touch with them or not, they could, pass the business to somebody else. So it's not, common sense anymore, sadly. So that's
Yeah,
kind of why,
and we in our business we're gonna take that chance. That's why I said individual, like a one-on-one invitation where you actually like, hey, listen, I have something special dedicated for the people that I've worked with. I would really love to see you there. It's harder for them to say no to something like that, and and when you plan for these events, let's say you want 80 people, say, okay, listen, I'm willing to pay for maybe 40 or 50 people, but what happens if I exceed the amount? You know what I mean? So you're aiming for 80, but budget wise, you can accommodate the 80, but you're going to start with less, because it's when it's a free event, it's just people are not going to show up, and
yeah,
that's why I said in people like that you worked with before, like an actual invitation and, and a phone call goes a long way, a long way. you know?
I've been, yeah, I shied away from the events, but I think I'm gonna try to get back into them. I've been doing more of the one-on-one stuff. You know, we try to take our clients, previous or current, you know, out on the water, out on the boat, you know, since we obviously live in Florida. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think
Yeah,
I'm
those
gonna.
are nice, but individual and maybe, individualize it and really gauge, what else are you gonna offer them? Like, okay, they've already bought a house with you, so now what? You're just bringing me out to hang out. And if you don't have that relationship, then it's like, hey, somebody posted here estate planning with a lawyer to sponsor. That's a really big deal to have there. Having somebody that can talk about that, like, hey, listen, you bought a house with me. We're gonna have people talk about how you can protect your assets, protect your family. So that'll come up as well. But what I really want to do is spend some time with you, and I want you to meet the people that I'm working with, and then some of the other people that I've worked with before, and help enhance your business. Do you have a business that you would like to promote? I can certainly promote it there too.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Of course, you're welcome.
Hi,
Uh,
Jennifer.
yes.
Hey, so right now there's a fundraiser and supporting a local animal shelter, and we're looking
Okay.
to do it at a waterfront restaurant with a marina. So it's kind of a very specific audience. And the good
Yep.
thing is about doing it and just setting up a booth is, we'll do it for like 2 hours, and the restaurant will donate a portion of their sales, obviously, towards the shelter. I
Nice.
guess what I'm coming up against is like, okay, making the time to actually do this and knowing like what needs to be done like ahead of time, because I always say I'm going to do it later, I'm going to work on it later, and it's like, I get so busy inside of my business and personal life, it's like I'm not taking the time to like actually do this. So what do you recommend as far as like, planning this out, maybe like a timeline for events like this, or what helps you, so that, or plan events, so there's like, there's not like a checklist, but kind of like a timeline of what to have like by when, that's worked.
Yeah, so we're actually working on putting that together. Funny that you mentioned that, because we're seeing so many events. We want everything to be just plug and play. So I'll
Mhm.
definitely offer that to you. But I would say, just off the top of my head, you already have a location set up. Definitely, right now it's all about getting the sponsors. If you haven't already gathered sponsors, because you want to be able to start preparing the marketing. So definitely
Mhm.
start marketing the event, the event and location and time. You already have that.
Mhm.
You need people to already be aware, like, hey, this is what I'm doing. The other thing is, I think it's important to showcase why you're doing it. Like, for example, it's an animal shelter. Okay, great. It's an animal shelter, it's a charity, but can we get a video? Can we get something that ties people in emotionally and say, hey, listen, um, this is what we're doing. These are the things that the animal shelter has done before, or these are the animals we're trying to save. This is the reason why we're doing this. We would love your your cooperation, your participation. We're hosting this event, and then you put in the Eventbrite with the link to the event location and cost or whatever, if there's any. So I think people in stuff with specific to charity, I think they have to know your reason, your goal, who's involved, and what is it helping. So if you can get the animal shelter to give you a video or something that they use to promote what they do, then that would be great. And have them also promote it. Ask them, can I send emails to your database, or can I give you a flyer on the event so that you can send it to your database on the animal shelter location as well? Because they have people that are outside of your network, that are from different realms, that are animal lovers too, and who knows, they could be repetitive clients. They just need another event or something to come to, so definitely, I would say start promoting the event. You already have the location. I don't know when your event is, but if it's less than 2 months from now, you need sponsors ASAP for that event. You don't want to carry the cost all on your own. I know the venue is going to cover the cost of, certain things, or paying certain things to you, but nonetheless, it doesn't hurt to have people there and get exposure. Now, the other thing is, how many people are you trying to have there? And like I said, if you're trying to have 50 people, then aim for 100 registrants, you know, unless they actually paid for the event. And in that case, then you aim for what you aim for. You know, you're hoping to
Well,
get
obviously, it's at a restaurant, so there's no registration. It's just really just it's just getting people to just show up, and like you already have the traffic because it's a very dog friendly establishment. So I'm really just getting the people that
There's
are
no,
already that come in there.
there's no registration at all.
Yeah. Well, because we're
Yeah.
just putting the table there, we're just promoting it. So whoever does show up, obviously, we're going to want to get donations. But I would talk to my sponsors, really just about donating prizes and doing a raffle
Yeah.
to
Brian,
those people that sign
what
up.
what I would say, I really encourage somewhere to register, whether it's in an Eventbrite or in person. You need that database of
Yeah.
people. You know, otherwise you're doing an event. Yeah, it's going to benefit the charity, but you also want communication with these people.
hmm
You know, and what if you do another charity in the future? You would like them to come. How do you invite them? You know, so I definitely would suggest whether it is a just through Eventbrite and they just show up. I will say that when they sign up through Eventbrite, they do expect to have like a table or something or somebody that's kind of checking them in, like, oh, you're here for this event. You know what I mean? And then I don't know if you're taking over the entire restaurant or not. You also don't want stragglers to show up. You want to make sure it's something that is controlled.
Yeah.
You know, so
Cool.
registration is the only way you're going to keep control of that. And in getting sponsors, the importance of sponsors is not just financial, it's the exposure. Sponsors bring other people.
hmm
They bring more people to their event, more people that can donate. You know what I mean? I'll tell you one thing. I told you, I mentioned it earlier. I do a comedy event. I help a local charity. I make absolutely nothing through this event, and I do it just because it's something that I'm passionate for. We're passionate for, David and I. And we have registration. We do it at a restaurant. We have sponsors, and the sponsors do speak as well. And I actually gather people from the industry to speak. So to actually do comedy, amateur comedy. So then what happens is, they are the sponsors. I'm sorry, the people who speak get their own sponsors. So then now I'm getting the sponsors, I'm getting the people who speak, and I'm getting the people who support them. You see what I'm saying? So it's how you bring in a crowd. Like I mentioned before, you can't do it on your own. So you have to, with the sponsors or with somebody coming in to speak, or the same, even the charity you're helping, it's everybody kind of pushing it out there and bringing in more people as well, because people will continue to donate if they believe in the cause. And then registration is to keep track of who's there, and also follow up with those same people, and maybe even like, hey, I know you were here, and send them another fundraising link. Like, hey, listen, don't forget, this is where you can donate. I would strongly suggest a registration. That's my thought process. Anything else? We have 10 minutes to 12, and
Guy raised his hand.
huh?
Guy raised his hand.
Oh, whoops, Guy, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't see that.
Hey, Jen, what I did with mine was we were doing some events at a local beer garden, pet friendly, that kind of stuff. We actually utilized, the restaurant actually has, or the beer garden has, an event planner. So we tasked them with it, and we estimated, how many people were coming and that kind of stuff. They did a lot of marketing. They helped us a lot as far as, obviously they have their Facebook groups and pages and their advertising. We added a lot to that. But one of the other ones we do pop-ups at different banks, at different things for different charities with the veterans. And there's an event planning company, and they don't charge us to do the marketing and all that kind of stuff. Obviously, they want to promote their services and their, what they do. So I found an event planning company that I'm kind of starting the next the next event plan that we have coming up, we're actually going through them and they're doing all of it. And then once they set up the flyers, we get the sponsors together and then they send all the flyers out to everybody. We then all link together our databases for emailing things out and all of that. So
That's
finding
perfect.
a venue that has an event planner is huge.
Mhm.
That helped us out. We thought we were gonna have about 35 people at our first event. We had 90 show up.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So
Yeah, I mean,
there's a lot
it
to
really,
it.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, that helps. I heard what the other guy said about, spending our time planning. We're real estate guys. We're not event planners, so
Exactly.
let them help you with some of that. They were very helpful with it. We just gave them our logos and stuff. They actually put the flyers together.
Yep,
They did a
universities
bunch
do
for,
that.
yeah,
Universities
that
do
was
that.
really, really helpful. And
Restaurants do
the
that
other
if
one
they
I
have
posted
free.
out there about the estate planning. We've already got clients that have bought assets. You have no idea. There's lawyers in your area. All you got to do is look up family law, probate, or one of those. You've got local attorneys close by. They, here in the state of Texas, they have very strict advertising rules for attorneys, right? But as realtors, we can then reach out to all the people that have bought homes in the last year from us or whatever. We have a database. And then when you want to do something like my guy does what's called whiskey in wills, or he does wine in wills. Just
Nice.
depends on, we're using Total Wine for the event. Last time we did it, we had about 20 people said yes, and then ultimately about 9 people showed up, or 9 couples actually showed up. So it's,
That's
it's
awesome.
one of those things, but it's a professional service and done nicely at a place like Total Wines. Yeah, you got to buy a couple bottles of wine. The attorney threw in a bottle of whiskey and, his time. And that was pretty significant for the attorney. He was very, very happy with that. So we'll be doing that
That's
one again
awesome.
too.
That's awesome. Yeah, take that. All of you guys that are listening in that are still here, definitely take that. Those golden nuggets is going to help you a lot. Thank you so much, Guy. I really appreciate the information on that as well. It's do the events. Nobody else is doing events. You just saw there were almost 30 people on this chat, and most of you guys weren't doing events. So the community is big enough for everybody, and the community needs help. So it's up to you to bring that information, whether it is to realtors, investors, buyers, sellers, etc. Do a market report analysis quarterly or something in your community. That'll help bring a lot of people want to know what's going on. Well, I want to thank you guys. Please remember to check out the Freedom Achiever Academy. I thank you guys for always coming in enthusiastic, providing information, answering questions, etc. And I'll see you guys next Thursday. You guys have an awesome, awesome day.